Story 1. My husband's younger cousin is working in our area. His lease was temporary where he was living, so he's staying with us while he looks for a new place. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of his. He's kind of bratty, but what really made me not stand him is his attitude with our 8-month-old daughter. Anytime the subject of my daughter/kids come up, he finds a way to make it about him being child-free. Example 1. When we announced our pregnancy to his family, everyone was happy for us. His reaction was, "Ew, that's so gross." Then telling us sorry, it's just weird for him thinking about being pregnant if he were a woman, and glad he's never going to. That already put us off and soured the moment. Didn't change throughout my pregnancy, so we ignored him. After our daughter was born, he threw a fit because my in-laws sent him a couple of pictures and he called my husband asking him to tell their parents not to send him anything because not everyone cares about babies. We weren't even the ones who sent it to him, but still mad at us for shoving our baby down his throat. My husband got mad about his attitude. His folks say he's expressing himself and not to take it personally. When we let him move in, it got worse. If my daughter cries, he loudly says, "Oh my gosh, shut her up. See, this is why yada yada won't have kids, etc. She's so annoying, she's so needy." Makes dramatic gagging noises when we're feeding her vegetables and tells us to take her somewhere else for that, which we don't. My husband just tells him to duck and deal with it. I can understand someone personally not liking kids and never wanting any. What I don't is going out of your way to always talk about how much you hate them. Anything my daughter does, he always has to say something. I don't appreciate that negatively towards my child. Earlier, my daughter hit her arms and started screaming. I calmed her down. After a minute, without asking for his opinion, he says, "You guys had a month to about. You did this to yourselves." So I snapped at him that if he hates babies so much, then he is welcome to get the hell out of my house. Don't understand what deep hate he has for kids, but maybe get some therapy because it's one thing to not like them. It's another to always want to make it known how much you despise them. And that I was tired of him annoying rants while he's eating our food for free, complaining about a baby while he's acting like one himself. So yeah, it was quite a bit what I said. He didn't say anything after, but told my husband. Then their parents. And the reason they think I'm a jerk is because I threatened him living situation when he wouldn't have any place to go right now and were his only option. My husband agrees with me, which triggered an argument with his parents. I get he is still young and dumb, so that's why I'm asking if I'm tag along. Story 2. I'm a 42-year-old female, and I'm the second youngest of 8 children. I was a surprise kid late in my parents' life, and I was a young teen when my dad started to get antsy and want to get out of the house more. He started taking hobby classes. I got dragged along to each and every one. Because of this, I have a wide array of very weird crafting knowledges. Crochet, knitting, basket weaving, quilting, cake decoration, and oil painting. While I'm not a master of any of them, I'm fairly competent. After my father died, I started using his old crafting supplies to make gifts for my siblings out of his things. Everyone got an afghan, a scarf, an egg basket, etc. It was my way of making sure my dad was still there every year. The knit sweaters were where things get a little hinky. I made 3 knit sweaters before I ran out of wool. There wasn't enough to make them all. I didn't realize it until I was too deep in the project. I ran out and grabbed some wool. I did my best to get a really broad variety of wool to keep it from being obvious. I did a few adjustments, split two of the existing sweaters, and added on more using the new sweaters. I wanted everyone to have at least some of Dad's wool in their sweaters. When I wrapped them, I didn't bother to put names on them. Everyone just grabbed the package and were delighted to have a nice sweater. It was the last of father-daughter crafting projects, and I was glad to be finished with them all. I ended up mentioning to my brother over lunch 2 weeks ago that only one of the sweaters was entirely Dad's wool because I had run out of wool. He immediately asked me which one, and I said that I wasn't sure who had gotten it. I didn't at the time, and explained again that there just wasn't enough wool to go around. He starts to get annoyed, wanting to know why I didn't make sure to give the one that was entirely Dad's fabric to him, since he was the oldest siblings. You can see where this is going. This snowballed. My brother called my other siblings to solve the mystery, and now siblings are all texting and posting pictures of their sweaters, trying to figure out who got the real one and whose were fake. I don't know, thanks to all the pictures, exactly which one is made entirely of his wool, but I'm playing stupid. You can't have that much wool laying in your lap for a month without recognizing it. I've gotten more than a few nasty messages about it from the peanut gallery, and all my siblings' friends seem to think that it's insanely rude that I will pull a trick like this. I realize now that I probably should have just broken down all three of sweaters to spread things around. But it was so miserable rushing for a month to get them done, only to have to split two of them, and just expand them back out again. So am I the asshole for not giving my siblings an equal share of Dad's fabric and their Christmas sweater? At this point, I feel like I should have just made 3 sweaters and explained the problem, but let them figure about it. Story 3. My daughter Daisy came out as a bisexual a couple months ago. Most of our family accepted her, although I know she disliked some of our actions when she came out. We were still in contact with families or friends that didn't accept her. We tried to be as supportive as we could, and a bit after she came out, she introduced us to her girlfriend. She was a really sweet woman and clearly loved our daughter. However, about a year ago, some rumors, apparently spread by my other daughter Rachel, said that she used to be a man. We did not believe it, but eventually Daisy confirmed that her girlfriend was trans, and I admit it was quite shocking and hard to process. This also kind of ruined the relationship between our daughters. Now to the problem itself. Yesterday, we decided to have a small gathering with the 4 of us. Me, my wife, and our 3 daughters. We ate a delicious meal, we talked a lot. In general, we were having a good time. I could tell that there was some tension between our daughters, but I thought that they could handle it. Then I decided to ask Daisy, "What is your girlfriend doing right now?" To which Rachel replied, "Yeah, what is he doing?" This immediately angered Daisy, so they started insulting each other. Luckily, I managed to change the subject and tell them to calm down before they started in an actual fight. After Rachel left, Daisy confronted me about this. She was angry that I did not defend her or at least say something to Rachel. Now I agree what Rachel said was rude, but it was Daisy who insulted her sister and worsened the situation. So I don't think it would have been right for me to defend or pick a side. But she didn't see it that way. She told me that either you do something or I won't visit again, which hurts me a lot. Since then, I have not talked to either of them directly, but apparently the rest of the family is choosing sides. Daisy is still very angry at me, and although I understand why she was angry at her brother, I think she's being unreasonable with me. Story 4. This happened back in August, but I'm still getting shit for it. So now I'm asking you guys. I'm a 26-year-old female, and my brother is 24. He's been dating this woman for about a year, and he shouldn't be. He's constantly testing her to see if she'll cheat or lie, and no matter how many times she passes his test and says that she rightfully doesn't like the test, he'll still say he can't trust her, but also won't break up with her. Our family has told him to stop the test, and so have some of his friends. But his logic is that if she loves him, then she'll know that he needs to be able to trust her. She went out with some friends and mentioned it, so he'd know she would not respond for a while. And my brother, who knew some people who were going to the same club that night, told the boy that he's kind of friends that she was single and interested in hooking up and test her. Again, his girlfriend apparently gets his on, realizing it's a test again, leaves the club, calls him and asks him if it's a test, and when my brother tells her that it is, she dumps him and says she's either going to go hook up with a man who flirted with her, if he's still up for it, or find someone else to hook up with, since she can't handle my brother's crazy anymore. My brother is very upset, and she hangs up on him, so he goes to our family in the kitchen, Mom, Dad, me, and my sister, to tell us what happened, and says that she cheated and now the relationship is over. We're all obviously upset for him, and then get the actual story out of him. And I laughed in his face because he lied. He caused the breakup, and it was what everyone warned him would happen if he kept testing her. I was called every name under the sun by my brother, and our parents said that even though he was in the wrong, that I should still have been sensitive to how he was feeling and kept my thoughts private. And because I didn't, am I the asshole? Am I?